The next Pokemon game seems to heavily be inspired by Indonesia and Southeast Asia. And today on the podcast, we're going to be breaking down everything that we know about this new Generation 10 region. The official announcement trailer for Winds and Waves gave us a really good feel for what this region will look like, but by piecing together a lot of unofficial information from the Terra leak, in this video we'll be breaking down the Winds and Waves beta map, including the specific code names for a lot of these locations. We'll be taking a look at real gameplay images, discussing the return of gym leaders, Titan battles, and raids. And along the way, we may have even discovered brand new Pokemon that we can expect to see in Generation 10. Subscribe if you're new and let us know what you think in the comments below. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast. My name is Dusty Gogo. Today I'm joined by Hoops and Hip Hop.
Hello.
And Soul Silver Art.
What's up?
We're talking about the map today, guys, the Generation 10 region. I've honestly been obsessed with the idea of just this last 6 months to a year. I've been obsessed with the idea of the Pokemon world and understanding what the actual whole world looks like. And so we've got this beta. So I'm just excited for today's episode. We've got this beta map, this early build of the Generation 10 map. Obviously, this region, this Generation 10 Winds and Waves region is going to be based on Indonesia and some other countries. But I'm excited today to kind of get into the weeds beyond just, oh, this location's based on Indonesia, right? We have a list of actual locations that have been translated from the Terra leak. And I think it's going to be fun today to kind of just go through this map and see where all of those locations might actually end up. And it might even help us understand what kind of Pokemon could be in this game, what the plot could be. There's so many mysteries and we got to wait a long time, but I'm excited for today's episode. Soul, do you want to give listeners just kind of some context for a lot of this information and what we're going to be discussing today?
For sure. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, we have all of these things leaked from the Terra leak, which was, a big hack of Game Freak a couple years back. So the real context is these are from from 2021 to 2024 even. So it's pretty early on, these leaked information. So what we're looking at here is the actual names of places that were leaked, actual locations that will be on the map. And I say will be, but like I said, it can change because this is an early map. It's a beta map. So these are also translated, like Dusty just said, so they won't be one-to-one either.
Yeah.
But there are some things that are very notable, like they mention, oh my gosh, I forget the name of the Pokemon, Swoobat. They mentioned Swoobat.
There's a Durant or an ant.
Yes,
the anthill
exactly.
Fieldlands, for example.
Those are those are the big ones. There's one more too, but yeah, so Woobat Tunnel is that's a real place on the real Winds and Waves map.
Yeah.
Unless they cut it from this information. That's essentially what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because you can place a lot of people, the fans have placed these locations on areas on the map that we have leaked.
Yes.
And because they're trying to figure out one-to-one what is what.
Yeah. And we're going to do a little bit of that today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about this is that it kind of gives us an insight onto what we can expect and gives us a little more info about the region itself. But it's also, like you said, this is from 2-3-ish years ago. So it's things can change and none of this, some of this might be moved around or removed or replaced or whatever. So it feels like even if you're you don't want to look at spoilers or whatever, I feel like this is just fun to look at and is safe to look at anyway, because it's for all we know, this all could be different by the time.
No, that is true. Yeah, it's also outdated. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it's
100%.
It's kind of just informed speculation a little bit, but it's not guaranteed
the best
by
kind.
any means. So
Absolutely.
it's just fun and can give us a good, maybe a little bit better of an idea of what we can expect to get excited, but nothing that's gonna ruin the experience for you or anything.
Yeah.
I fully expect things on this map to be different in the final version. I fully expect it to be
and new things that aren't even
you look
on
at
here.
it, you're Yeah.
New things that aren't even
Like-
on this list could also be in the game. Things could be removed. Things could be renamed. I mean, honestly, it is actually kind of crazy because like with the Terra League, we saw so much like early concepts that were scrapped for games like Sun and Moon, for games like for literally all the games, all the beta Pokemon that were discovered a year or so ago. That's all evidence. Like I'm basically looking at everything that we're looking at today as like potentially it's all beta. It's all early, it's just early stuff, which is I think kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
And it's like it can I mean some of it could end up in the final game, but it could either be removed entirely or it could like be shifted to where something else replaces this stuff, but it's inspired by the stuff that was cut. So it's still kind of like worth looking into this stuff because like we can still kind of get an idea of what to expect. Like, for example, one thing that kind of intrigues me, and this is something that maybe could actually make the final game, is we mentioned the Woobat Tunnel. The fact that they named a location after Woobat kind of tells me that like, I mean, it could just be random, but it's like they picked Woobat for a reason. So maybe Woobat is a little more important. Maybe it's because there's a regional form of Woobat or something like that. So stuff like that could be like an indicator of, yes, this is going to be there. But then it's like, there's other stuff that it's like, this could be here. This might not be there. Like, it's just like, it could all be switched around. So it's just like, I'm thinking about like Diglett Cave in Kanto, right? And there is Diglett Cave, no big deal. But I always think about the level 30 Doug Trio that you accidentally run into. And if it's in Fire Red and Leaf Green, it has Arena Trap and prevents you from leaving and wipes out your whole team, right? And so now I'm thinking about Woobat. Maybe there's a Swoobat, but maybe then I could see it getting a new evolution and kind of being like a Noivern. That's what's in my mind right now.
I hope so.
That's sick. That sounds really fun.
If it has to evolve, I hope it's something like that. That's what I mean. I don't actually hope that it gets anything. Yeah, I don't want it to get anything. But
it could be. It could go different ways too. It could be an evolution. It could be a variant. It's interesting, and I think Woobat is kind of a Pokemon that like it could go either way. Yeah, but like. And again, it could be a Diglett Tunnel situation where it's like...
It could just be the name of the tunnel.
Actually, you know what just occurred to me that's kind of funny? I was going to say it could just be a Diglett Tunnel situation where it's like they just name it after the Pokemon and that's the end of it. But like in Alola, they made another Diglett Tunnel and they gave us an Alolan Diglett.
Oh, so true!
It very well could be like they are naming this after Woobat because... there's a Woobat evolution or a variant or something.
The regional form makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I don't know if you can pull it up, but there was my whole thing. Since we're on this topic, there's so much more to say.
Let's
like
just
it could be, I'll just say that this could be changed to like Zubat Tunnel. Like you know what I mean? Like something like that can happen. But without saying, going back to Woobat, I don't like Woobat. I don't like Swoobat. I wanted a bat starter for this generation because fruit bats are like so like they're one of the bigger, crazier bats in this region. There's tons of bats though. So I just wanted a fruit bat, and I don't want Swoobat to become that fruit bat. Like if they do it, it's like it has to be the only like bat Pokemon that we get essentially, and that sucks for me.
Sure,
so I kind of don't want that to happen.
I mean, there is a possibility that we could get multiple multiple inspiration, like multiple Pokemon that take the same inspiration from the same, animal. But I'm with you.
What I was thinking of, there was an artist on Twitter that did a Swoobat fruit bat evolution. I'm typing it in right now.
I've seen this.
And it was the only time that I was like, okay, maybe, you know what? Game Freak can pull it off and make it work because it actually could work if it looks not like Swoobat anymore, but actually like a flying fox fruit bat kind of thing. I'm looking as well, but I don't see it either.
No, I've got it right here. I'm just trying to find their Twitter page so we can get their actual name. Because
something that kind of occurs to me is that like I feel like Woobat specifically could translate really well to that kind of concept because he's kind of just a round ball, so he could easily become like some kind of fruit, like his body, if he were to like turn into something like that. So I feel like
Oh, it was
there's a
Shula.
lot of
Sorry, hoops.
there's a lot of potential like with that concept
Yeah.
for Woobat.
100%, dude.
Like this is just. I was like, no, I don't want this, but in the
I
end,
want this. Yeah.
the evolution looks really good, and I would be happy with this, even after everything I just said, you know. But you know, we still got to get the regional form in these other two, and they're not for me. They're just not for me.
Well,
It's the hole in the face, I think, that gets me. But.
the more I think about it, though, the more they're kind of perfect for an evolution. Because, like, stat-wise, Swoobat has a lot of room to grow. They're a Pokemon that's, like, no one's really talked about them all that much since they came out. Like, nothing's really happened to them. So it does kind of feel like they're due, and there's room to grow there. I could definitely see it from that perspective.
I agree, and that's what makes me scared. But when I look at this, it's just like, this is a thing that happens to me with fan designs. Like, somebody that makes something so perfect, and then I just know that it is not going to be the real one, because obviously they don't work for Game Freak.
Yeah.
But when I keep looking at this, I'm like, this could be one of my favorite Pokemon ever.
I mean, yeah, this is like if Dragalge was a fruit bat.
Yeah,
It's so sick.
exactly.
I see it.
Yeah.
No, it's so good. It looks like
we'll see
it
what
looks like a
happens.
dragon fruit. You know?
Mhm.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's so sick. I think every Pokemon should be a dragon.
Yes, me too.
You make any Pokemon a
Naturally.
dragon, and it's like the coolest thing. It's so sick.
It's going to be interesting.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. All right. So another thing is we also have like all of these images, right? This is on Poke.eos. We also have all these images of gameplay locations of the map, of the Gen 10 map. And like, if you haven't seen them, it is pretty like, it is kind of sick to actually see some of these locations, because the gameplay, and this is all beta gameplay, looks better than Scarlet and Violet's map and world. I mean, it's empty. There's nothing there, but there are specific locations and landmarks that make some of these places feel way more, I guess, memorable and special. And that's I don't know, man. This icy location is so sick. There's definitely a Frigibax in this location. In this icy tundra. Yeah. The festivities have begun. Pokemon is celebrating its 30th year anniversary, and the TCG, the trading card game, is a huge part of the celebration. This episode is brought to you by our friends, Awesome CCG. It's my local card shop. These guys are the best, and there's so many new sets coming out. The latest Pokemon TCG set is Mega Evolution Perfect Order, Mega Skarmory, Mega Clefable, Mega Zygarde. This whole set is themed around Pokemon Legends ZA. Once this set drops, you can get these cards for yourself using the link in the description. But guess what? I kind of lied. The actual latest Pokemon TCG set is Ninja Spinner. It's only available in Japanese, but you can get it right now. You don't even need to wait. This is why I love Awesome CCG. They always have the latest cards. And as a bonus, Hidden Power listeners, you can head to the link in the description or the pinned comment, and at checkout, use code Hidden Power. One word, to get 5% off regularly priced merchandise, which is pretty nice considering how expensive Pokemon cards can be right now. So check out your local shop. If you're in New Hampshire or Massachusetts, let them know Hidden Power sent you. And everything that they have in store is also available on their website. So go check that out and get your 5% off. Thank you, Awesome CCG, for sponsoring.
Yes.
Am I the only one?
Something that
go for it.
intrigues me, looking at the map, and specifically this one that's like labeled, is that the island that is labeled as the first island that we start on is first. It's not the one that I was expecting us to start on, because I don't know if it's just like Paldea PTSD, but it's like right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah.
So I was feeling like, oh, maybe that's like an important end game area, but apparently it could be where we start. And what I think is interesting about that is that there's a volcano on like the first area. So that means we're going to get like tons of like fire types and things like that, which
that's true.
Fire types, unless you pick the starter, are typically not available until like mid game or even late game, depending on what you're playing. So I feel like there's going to be fire types on this island. There's definitely going to be grass types, because there's a lot of grassland there, and that's just a early game type that you see a lot of the time.
Yeah.
There will likely be
Water
water types
types,
because of
easily.
the coastline, obviously, and then there's even a little desert area right there too. So there'll probably be like ground types, rock types, that sort of thing. So there's like a lot of variety.
Yeah.
And it's also just like, it's like, that is a big island and it's one of like 15. So
No, I think that's a really good,
tons to this
that's a
region.
really good read. Like you start like, okay, this is an open world game, right? It's all about your choices. You choose your starter, but then immediately, I guess it is kind of cool that immediately the game is could potentially give us other Pokemon to fill the role of fire, grass, water, one of those elemental types that you
Right.
have not chosen.
Yeah.
And typically those Pokemon are available to you, like you said, like mid-game, fire types mid-game. But like, I think that is kind of in line with what we normally see. Like eventually you get those Pokemon, like a rival always will fill those like roles, right? They end up with with like the core 3 elemental types. And it's that would be kind of sick to get that like earlier on in the game.
Yeah, because like I think about the fire type specifically, and like in Gen 1, it's like you can't find Growlithe until like you get to Celadon City, or Gen 2, you don't really find. I mean, I can't even think of like a fire type that you find in Johto. It's like you almost can't find them till Kanto. I feel
Yeah.
like
Right.
so like they're really sparse depending on what game you're playing, and so like the thought of being able to pick Brout, because I'm gonna go for Brout.
Yeah.
So being able to pick up Brout, but then be able to go over to the volcano area and potentially get a brand new fire type Pokemon like early in the game that I'll be able to go through the whole game with is so that is like such a cool thought to me. That's so exciting.
I do wonder though at the same time, because we know a lot about this game, but we don't know a lot about this game all at the same time. And this is already a point of showing how much things have and can change. Because I think at the beginning, like in the earliest planned document from like 2021, like the game started on Island 11, I think, which in this map. On this map, when you look at Island 11, that's kind of where it was supposed to start or something like that. I've heard of multiple places where it was supposed to start, and I don't even know if Island 1 is the one that we start on. Because it's just so mixed up. Like there's different places that people have said that we'll start. I also think we heard things about like you can it is an open world game, but I wonder like if in Scarlet and Violet there's and this isn't common in other open world games, there's like some kind of blocking, like things that will block you from going to certain areas. Like, so in Scarlet Violet, you needed to get the Herba Mystica for the Koraidon and Miraidon to get to certain locations. So I'm wondering if the big island in the middle is the first island, or the starting island, I wonder if we'll be able to go in the volcano right away. Maybe there's a giant boulder blocking the way to get in and you can't climb up the thing. You know what I mean? So it's like...
No, I like that. No, I like that a lot actually, because what that would actually set up, that's actually kind of cool, because what that would set up is like you are introduced to the threat. Like, I guess I'm wondering if like what is, like, I guess I'm thinking about the plot, right? Like, could the plot be like, do we need to harness the power of nature to stop a volcano from destroying our way of life or something, right? Maybe that's the threat. Maybe there's a legendary Pokemon or something. And because it is tied to where we start our journey and potentially probably where where our character grew up, where all of our friends are, to have a threat to our way of life be literally tied, like it's all tied up and threatened. And now the game will force us to go out on our adventure, explore the whole region, and then come back to the starting point to have our final showdown. That's kind of, that's epic. That's kind of cool.
It's it's also when you look at the middle, when you look at the map, you're like, that's where it's got to end. At the middle.
Exactly.
Like the middle point draws you to that. Yeah. So it's like, how does that work really? I don't know even if that's where we start too, because sometimes, I don't know, I think the uninhabited island on this map, the one that's listed as that, might be the one that we actually start at, and then you can like just, surf over or whatever to that big island. Because I think the resort is on the big island. I think everything that they showed in the trailer was on the big island, so it does highly suggest that the big island in the middle is the like starting island. Yeah. But it's like I said, it's things that we know a lot about this, but we also don't know a lot, so it's up in the air.
In terms of map design or like, I guess like I'm thinking about the flow of the story, right? I guess there's two possibilities for me. I guess it makes sense for us to start our game in the middle of the map if it's an open world game, because it's saying like you can go in any direction and all directions are valid. I think also having us start on an island is kind of cool. I mean, I guess they're all islands, but like having us start in the first round, the first area is cool. Maybe the first gym is on the first island. We learn how to catch Pokemon, how to train Pokemon, how to battle with them. We learn the environment, we learn the story. And then our first like major test is, can you surf? Right. And then in order to get off the island, your first hurdle is, can you surf? Can you figure that out?
Can you dive, actually?
Yeah. Or maybe. Be. But I mean, I guess I'm just thinking surf, because the surf allows you to get off the island, which then empowers you, or I guess means like that's your first test to determine if can you go to any of the islands, right? As soon as you learn that, your trials, now you can go anywhere. And that I kind of like that. And I guess the other thing I was going to say is kind of in line with that, but it's that like I think about the first Pokemon games, Red, Blue, and Yellow, where it's like the first couple gyms are linear, but then the whole game opens up. And I wonder if we could see a similar situation. And so like starting on the uninhabited island, sure, that could be it. But I guess I'm looking at some of these like strips of islands, and I wonder if it could be like you start in one location and then you go to like I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. Yeah, you can. Like let me get a little bit closer here. Like I don't know. I'm wondering if like you start, I don't know. I guess like maybe you start here and then you go to this island and then and then it opens up to this island. And then that's like maybe a couple hours of gameplay. You can catch new Pokemon, and then your test is, okay, can you surf? Can you get onto a new island? And then the whole game opens up after like Gym 3, let's say, or Gym 2. So that's what I'm thinking about.
I could see something like that. And then the other thing that also is kind of speaking to me is that if you look at the map as a whole and we assume that Island 1 is actually Island 1, it kind of, the region is sort of formatted, it looks like, in a way that like there is a certain like way for us to go. Like the game is going to be open world, but there's like a certain like order of events, because the big island is in the center, but then there's like this little trail of islands that kind of like act as sort of a trail down to the lower islands at the bottom. And then you get to the Island 8 and the Island 12 that kind of wrap back up. And that kind of leads into Island 11 and Island 2 and these upper islands. And then it kind of wraps back around to Island 5, and then it sort of leads back into Island 1. So I almost feel like there will be that kind of, like, you'll be able to go anywhere, but maybe in terms of like gym order or something like that, that will kind of be the like order of events that you would traditionally follow if you were just like following it like to the T. So, and that could obviously sort of affect things, because I think the idea of wrapping back around and like having some big thing happen back at the island that you started at, I think that makes a lot of sense too. And then to your point, Sol, you mentioned that the trailer is probably like everything in the trailer is probably from the first island, and that's something I've heard too. And that's interesting, because to go back to my point about the volcano, we do see the player wandering through the volcano. So even if part of it is cut off, some of it is probably going to be accessible right off the bat. So
I'm pretty sure that it's probably the most like biologically diverse island in the whole map.
Which one?
Because the main one, the big one. Like because the one at the top is mostly ice. The one at the bottom is more like deserty. Like they all have their own things, but the one in the middle might have a mix of them all.
Yeah,
kind
I see
of thing.
that.
So it's all diverse.
Grassland, mountain, volcano,
yeah,
maybe desert
in there.
or arid, and then there's like even like coastline. Yeah, I see it. That's true.
But
they even have elevation for like flying types or something.
Yeah. What we're kind of talking about is like almost two different things. It's like, can you access a place that can get you, any a specific Pokemon essentially, or like, is it part of the plot? Those are like two different things almost, I'd say. And I think, so it's interesting. It's like, will you be able to get any Pokemon you want? Probably. probably.
Yeah.
But then there's the like what you said, Hoops, where it could follow like linear narrative that you have to go to these islands in this specific way. So,
which has pros and
you
cons, right? Because the pros are
Yeah.
like they can, I guess, tell like the story, like I feel like the story can be a little bit more focused and kind of help raise stakes and buy-in. I think an issue for me with Scarlet and Violet, and honestly a lot of open world games, is that like it almost like I'm almost too reliant, or the game is too reliant on my buy-in and my imagination to kind of like keep the momentum of the game, which I don't think is a problem necessarily for me, but like, you know, I do think if something's open world, it's like they kind of have to do something right they have to be careful to actually make sure that the game has like proper stakes and feels connected and events feel like purposeful, you know, like our favorite Pokemon moments are like, you know, things that feel rewarded or there's like they're payoffs to something, you know?
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say that like assuming this kind of thing is correct, where this is like the order I mentioned is like the order that the game like establishes for itself, I feel like what would happen is the game, you do your thing on Island 1, and then after that the game would open up. But what would take place is basically the story beats are what would follow that path.
Exactly.
But then like you can, if you don't want to like do that, like you can go to Island 5 instead, or Island 2 or whatever, and you can just kind of goof around and do whatever. But then
catch your ice type.
Yeah, catch your ice type right away. Which also I wanted to mention, I love that there's multiple like icy areas on this map, because this is obviously a region that could like have not so many ice types, and it reminds me of like Alola, where like there's one ice type area and that's it. So I like that there's a couple, and then we'll be able to I assume we'll be able to access them kind of whenever we want. But I feel like that is sort of what I'm expecting, to where we'll be able to explore wherever we want and go wherever we want to go. But then like the story is probably what will follow a more rigid path.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
I think what I'm hoping for is, I mean, I definitely hope this is truly open world and we have the choice to kind of go wherever we want. I think I also really hope that each of these islands truly feel unique in their identity. Maybe not it doesn't need to necessarily be like the types of Pokemon or like the elemental types, but I think I'm hoping for every island to kind of have like its own identity and to feel specific, which I think makes it feel memorable. Like, again, our favorite, I mean, like what are like some of our favorite locations and towns are still one of a kind in the Pokemon world. Like think about like Ecruteak City, you know,
right.
There's so many places in the Kalos region. It's like you go route to route and every single route feels separate. And I think the way we got to look at these islands is not like new regions, but I think they need to feel like separate routes. You know, it's like so much of this game is going to be water, which is something else we could talk about. Like what is going to be within the water, you know, because I don't think it's just going to be like nothingness, right? I think
the map within the map.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess I just really hope that like if I go to Island 9, it is memorable in its own right. It has a purpose. It has a culture. It has something, you know. It'll have unique Pokemon. Like I think that's really what I'm hoping we get from these different locations.
I think you could probably bet on that. I mean, I don't know to what extent, but I remember at the beginning, like the Terra Leak 1, we call it, you know, Terra Leak 1, and this is part of Terra Leak 2, this information. But Terra Leak 1, there was some leaked conversations between like Game Freak and the anime, and they were just talking about different things between like not getting overlap with the anime. One of the things they talked about is like basically that they want each island to, you know, be an environment that affects the Pokemon living on it. So like they should be very environmentally diverse, you know, pretty different. So I think each one will will feel different than the other. I mean, each one is pretty strong because there's a lot of like when we're looking at this close, there's a lot of little islands, and those are probably just going to be like just little patches of grass and stuff. Nothing crazy. Some of them might be, but
Yeah.
The thing that has me excited is I feel like this region's going to be huge, and there's going to be a ton to explore because. I mean, if we assume that like everything we saw in the reveal trailer is on the first island, like think about it in terms of scale. Like it looked big. Like it looked like it could almost be a region in and of itself. That's probably a stretch, but it's like there's a lot to cover there. It doesn't look like you're like a typical starting area. And then if you look at the wider region as a whole, it's like you've literally got like 15 other islands, and then some of them, like Island 5 or Island 12, they're like almost as big as Island 1. So it's like you've got, and then there's all the other little islands that you mentioned. So I feel like this could be one of the biggest regions we've seen.
Yeah.
And it also feels like it's going to be one of the most like varied islands regions, because each island is going to be kind of like its own self-contained little like area. It's not it's going to be very different from Paldea, where like you explored everywhere but it was all kind of the same. Like each one of these islands I feel like is going to feel completely different from the one that came before it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about
like
like
in the screenshots too.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
When you were looking at the screenshots, like they're all kind of different. So most likely they're examples of different environments on different islands.
And I think something else I wanted to bring up. This is the map within the map is like, okay, this is the like there's different planes to this, like this is the base map. But I guess what I'm wondering about, I wonder if they're going to do something kind of tricky. I do feel like I'm thinking about the Hoenn games, right? I'm thinking about the Hoenn games in. Maybe that's a bad example. Okay. These games are called Winds and Waves. What if you pick Waves at the beginning of the game, you are only exposed to diving, whereas in Winds in the beginning of the game you would only be exposed to flying. It kind of. I guess I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about. What would it be? I guess maybe it's like Sun and Moon, where it's like one game is always nighttime when the other is like daytime. I guess I'm thinking about Ho-Oh and Lugia in the Johto games, where it's like, you literally can't get the other box legendary until post game, and I guess you're almost like walled off. You're like barred from certain locations until that post game as well. Like if you pick Silver, that's the only time you get to go to the Whirl Islands like earlier on in the game. I guess I can't find the exact like one-to-one example, but I wonder if that's something that we could maybe see.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Because that would fundamentally change, like, I guess I see a situation where like fans are collectively like, this game is the superior game because you can get, you have so many more options, right? Like maybe Waves becomes fan favorite because it's like that's the game where during the main game you can only go underwater then,
Right. That's the only issue actually I see with it, is that they wouldn't want one of them to be better than the other one, or regarded as better in a way, like they're okay with like someone being like, though. Yeah, but they're okay with someone being like, this is the better legendary, but I don't think they're okay with someone being like, this is the better like game experience. You know what I mean? I think that they would want it to be kind of equal. When you said that, even that
is kind of compelling though, right? That would actually help you make your decision on what.
Yeah, but they want to sell the other one too. You know what I mean? They got to sell both.
Yeah, but the trade-off is like, again, it's subjective. Where it's like, I think I would want to fly in the sky. That sounds awesome earlier in the game, But then
I feel like it's too much of a thing where you want to do both. Like, don't you
but
want
that's
to
the
do
choice.
both?
I know, but that's like the choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's always fun.
I think that there will be some kind of flying in this game, but I don't know if it's going to be like a version exclusive situation where it could be. What you said is definitely plausible. But I think when you said that, I thought of something that could be fun, which is, in Waves, you actually dive at first, and then in winds you're like windsurfing. You're like
Oh,
on
that's
the
kinda
water
cool.
surfing.
Yeah. That is true.
Something
No,
like that.
yeah,
So it's still water traversal kind of thing. I
yeah.
don't know. Just a thought.
The thing that's crazy when talking about the size of the map is that like
Oh yeah.
everything we're talking about with regards to islands is only like 1/3 of the whole map, if that, because the water itself is the another third.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
if assuming they fill that up with something, which I assume they will, whether it be trainers, Pokemon, little like things to see, you know, like landmarks or whatever.
Yeah, there'll be landmarks and trainers and wild Pokemon, maybe like the equivalent of like an alpha. I could see there being like storms or like other obstacles, whirlpools, waterfalls.
Right.
Like we've seen this
Yeah, like
before.
Wind Waker.
So
Yeah.
so
Wind
that's
Waker
gonna
storms.
so that's gonna be a whole thing, and then you've got all of the underwater areas. That's a whole other section, and then it might not even be the whole thing either, because if like flying becomes an actual thing, and we've talked about it before, where if diving is going to
Yeah.
be such a focus of this game, it only makes sense that some kind of equivalent for flying would be there too, because it's winds and waves.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a very realistic possibility. And if that was the case, you essentially have like 4 maps in one. You have the sky, you have the land, you
Yeah.
have the water, and you have underwater. And like we said, the islands are already looking plenty big all on their own. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that times 4 is kind of like, there's gonna be tons to see in this
Yeah.
game.
That's why they delayed it to 2027. For real though, because that's a lot. That's a lot. That's one of the things that holds me back with like thinking that, because it's like, dang, that's a huge map.
That sounds awesome.
Plus the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like an incredible, crazy game. Sounds like a 10-year development
Yeah.
game. So
Well, okay, so right
at this point we're at 7 years, so whatever.
Yeah, maybe it's time to kick it over to actually kind of like go island, like location to location. On PokeEos, there is though listings for all these different for basically 8 different open ocean areas and deep sea location. There's 10
That
listed
makes sense.
deep sea locations. Do you know about this, Soul? Is this something we can confirm as like?
Yeah, it's definitely real. It makes sense. It's real information. I was gonna say when we were just talking about it, I don't think that like you'll just be able to dive anywhere.
Yeah.
They will be like
I was thinking this.
specific locations that you can dive. Yeah, so this confirms that essentially. But 10 is a lot.
So that's actually kind of crazy, because I guess the way we got to think about this is, all right, there's 17 islands, but then there are 10 ocean routes, or 8, and then there's 10 deep sea biomes that are underwater. I guess something here that we're not
a lot.
seeing, which maybe kills our theory, is I don't see any open air locations, you know?
Right.
But maybe it's because the islands have like maybe 2, like there's I don't know. I guess my brain is organized by like Cerebi pages. So I'm like, or whatever, like it's like, okay, island 9, but there's like another it's like island 9 in the air or island 9 on the ground. And those are like different like encounter tables for the Pokemon or whatever. Like, I don't know.
I mean, one of those islands could be
Yeah.
in the air. You know what I mean? In the
Yeah.
sky. Some of those islands.
True. Yeah. Or
They just won't specify that.
yeah, because the open ocean areas, or even the deep sea locations, those would not be underneath an island, because that's where there's an island.
Right.
So that could be a possibility.
It
Or
also
I think
mentions-
maybe every single one of these locations has a not the deep sea locations, but the open ocean areas. Those are routes. Islands are routes or towns. Those all have like you could basically double that amount to account for any sort of air location above it, right? That could be traversal. There's
the other thing that kind of still has me fairly like confident that we'll see some kind of air area is if you scroll to the bottom of this page, it mentions a legendary temple for the Winds legendary and the Waves legendary. We can basically guarantee that a temple for the Waves legendary would be in the water or below the water.
Yeah.
So like, how would the Winds legendary not have a temple like in the air somewhere?
Yeah.
Even if it's like on the top of a mountain, so it's like way up in the sky, you know, high altitude. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's still going to be an air type of theme there. So I feel like it's not so much a matter of like will it be there. I feel like it's more a matter of like how heavy on that will they go, because they
Yeah,
might just
right.
do like they might not go full in like they are with the diving, but I still feel like there's going to be some element of that. And yeah, maybe it's that part of the map right there with the cloud looking things.
Yeah, there's this
Yeah.
is like bundle of like what kind of looks like clouds in the middle of the ocean. I think it seems to be the same color as little patches of like sand. So
Sandbar.
I think it's a sandbar, but it is weird because just the clustering of it looks kind of weird. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Where would these temples be? Are they going to be, kind of masked? Are they going to be hidden until they are finally revealed?
I
don't know.
would love, this would be best case scenario.
But a
if the
temple, dude,
waves
that's
one,
fun.
If the waves one is deep below the water in one of those deep sea areas that
Yeah.
you dive to, and then the winds one is like up on a cloud somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how they're
Yeah.
and that's how they're made like inaccessible until the end of the game, is like
Yeah.
they're just like so far out of the way.
No, 100%, dude. It is really cool. Also, like, I mean, this is like in the trailer. There's that giant tower, that Pokemon tower, and I don't think this has anything to do with the legendary Pokemon, but I think something I'm noticing right now in this conversation is that like this thing has like verticality. Like we're seeing a shot of this tower, and it is so far off the ground. And I guess I wonder if that indicates like how it will actually be to be on top of that volcano, or if there is soaring, to be up in the sky. Like,
Yeah.
that is just, I don't know, that's kind of cool.
I think it's just a little bit of trailer magic,
Sure,
to be
it
honest.
could be.
But I do think, obviously, I think you'll be able to soar. I definitely believe that. But I just, even from that angle, it's like so high up that I don't think you'll be soaring that high. But like you said, on top of a mountain,
Yeah.
like looking down, I can see me on top of that tower looking down. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Instead of above the tower.
Have you
But-
guys ever, like, in Scarlet and Violet, like, as soon as I got the DLC power-ups where you're able to, like, fly upwards indefinitely, have you ever
Fly as high as you can.
have you ever done that in Paldea, like on mainland Paldea, and you just
Nope.
like, I've soared upwards for maybe like 5 minutes, and it is crazy. The Paldean map gets so small, like
Yeah.
it's kind of insane, and I don't, there's nothing up there. I think I was soaring up there because the Blueberry Academy taught me that I should
Yeah, that's
fly
where I
as
did
high
it.
as possible to go on
Mhm.
top of the crystal ball.
Right.
And that's another thing too.
But you can
is,
do that in
like,
Scarlet and Violet.
like we forever, it was for the longest time we talked about wanting following Pokemon back in the games, because obviously
Yeah.
Heart Gold Soul Silver popularized that, and then they eventually did it in, I think it was the Sword and Shield DLC. Actually, it was Let's Go, I think, did it first, and then Sword and Shield DLC brought it in, and basically like they eventually just started doing it in every game to where it's like basically a normal thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
soaring in the air is kind of one of those features that is doing a similar thing, because we originally got to soar in Oraz, and then they added the glide mechanic in Legends Arceus, and then we got to do it in Scarlet and Violet as well. So, especially with it being present in Scarlet and Violet, and obviously that also being an open world game, I would be shocked if there was just no kind of equivalent mechanic to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, if the mechanic's going to be there, if the name of the game is wins, Pokemon wins, and you've got a wins legendary, it all kind of just speaks to like why would there not be some kind of wind sky theme,
Yeah.
like geographically? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it'll be there. Don't get me
and
wrong.
there's
I just
and
don't
there's
know.
the clouds. There's the clouds.
Yeah,
Right.
bro, the clouds.
The
No,
dragon
that's actually
clouds.
that's a huge point though, because there's that one cloud that has like the weird, shape to it, and it stands out, and you're like, oh, this is something. And there's rumors surrounding it that it's actually one of like a raid situation. So you might have to fly up to the clouds, and it starts a raid. Like that could be
Oh
the
yeah, that's
option.
Yeah, something like that, or like I could totally see them using clouds to like integrate like legendary Pokemon later in the game,
Yeah.
kind of like Mirage spots. So there's tons of potential there, and yeah,
And I like
think
that
it's
more
like-
honestly because I think the Terra raids or like the crystals in Paldea, I don't know, maybe I'm over analyzing this, but like I guess I feel like it almost like it starts to feel like a detriment or like it like a distraction. It feels like a
So
little
like
bit
the map, you mean?
yeah, like on the actual like region. It's
Yeah,
like
I
why
get
is
it.
this here? I mean, I know why it's here and it does make sense with the region and the history and the lore and the legendaries, but like it feels a little shoehorned. It's like, okay, that is here because it is a gameplay element, you know,
Right.
because it is for
Yeah.
raids. And so to have those kind of separated into the, I mean, I guess it could be in the sky or in the water, you know, depending on your version, perhaps. Yeah, bro. Like, what is that? That's so crazy. That is like, can't be nothing. That's insane.
It's not nothing. There's no way it's nothing.
I look
'Cause
at these
it's
things so much.
different from everything.
I go through all the phases. I'm like, it has to be something. No, everyone's crazy. I'm looking at it right now, a couple months later, and I'm like, that has to be something.
Yeah,
It's just a dragon. They just put a dragon there. It's crazy.
for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, and that'd be sick if you could look up and see the silhouette of maybe what is in that cloud. Like from the ground, you're like, what is that? And then you have to
Right.
soar
Yeah.
up to like isn't that what it's all about when you're like staring at clouds? And you're like, you
Yeah.
see something, you're like, whoa, what is that? It kind of looks like a bear. You fly up there, it's an Ursaluna.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's just a little.
yeah.
Like that's so
It's the
sick.
bear cloud.
Yeah. You know what? Oh, dude, you know what's also kind of cool? Oh, that's actually so sick. Because raids have always been tied to the gimmick of the region, right?
hmm
I mean, are we all just assume? I mean, that would make sense that the raids that we go to, either in the sky or in the water, are basically any Pokemon granted or bestowed the power of the legendary, whether it's winds or waves, right? And so you can go up there. I just said Ursaluna, but I'm like, it could be an Ursaluna or whatever, a bear Pokemon that has that power from the winds legendary, right? And that's why they're up in the sky. Like they
Right,
have
right.
this ethereal power and they're like a god. That's so sick, dude. That feels I
Yeah.
can see it.
And
That's
that's
so much
why
fun.
I
Yeah.
think that's why I think it'll be kind of like split where
Yeah.
in waves you'll get the raid areas in the clouds, in winds you'll get the raid areas in the clouds, in waves you'll get them in like the deep sea areas.
Yeah.
That just and it makes so much sense as well because it's like you said, we always know that the gimmick and like this all the supernatural stuff in a region is always tied to the legendary Pokemon. So of course these raid areas or these special locations would be tied to the clouds and under the ocean because the power of them is coming from the legendaries. So
Right.
it's just I feel like the form it takes is kind of the question mark, but I strongly believe that we're going to get something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's true.
Damn, bro. Yeah, I'm just looking at these like reborn forms and it's just feeling super real. All right, let's get back on schedule. This has been super fun to talk about. Do you think this on PokeEos? Do you think that this is the same information as what's on this other image that we pulled up?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll pull up this one because it's a little bit more condensed.
one thing I wanted to talk about to kind of lead off is
Sure.
Because we mentioned Woobat and maybe Woobat getting an evolution earlier. It'd be interesting to see kind of like what other new Pokemon we might be able to infer based on like what these areas are. So like, for example,
Right.
there's one on Island 3, it says there's a place called Anthill Fieldlands. And you mentioned, Soul, that obviously these are translated and they might not be perfectly translated. But there's no way that we're going to get an area that is called... It's not going to just be generic like Anthill Fieldlands. In the final game, it's going to be something like Woobat Tunnel. It's going to be a more proper
Right.
name that's like
Yeah.
more involved with the Pokemon world. Like we're not going to get a Pokemon location named after an animal. It's going to be named after
Right,
a Pokemon.
right.
So that makes me wonder, like, are we going to be
Oh.
getting a new ant Pokemon that they've kind of they've named this location Ant Hill Fieldlands because it's like, we know we're going to do an ant.
It's going to be an
Pokemon,
ant.
and we're going to rename it later.
Yeah. Durant Hill Fieldlands.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but like,
Easy.
that's an interesting point. I wonder if there's ever been a it's funny because like, yeah, like I know what you're saying. Like an ant feels like it wouldn't exist in the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
Because it's not an
Yeah,
Pokemon,
they're not gonna-
but there are
Yes,
Pokemon
yes.
that are literally described in the Pokedex as, like Pikachu is the electric mouse Pokemon.
Right.
What the heck
Right.
is a mouse? Like it does get a little squirrely there. No,
I do agree that
intended.
Hoops.
Yeah.
I think Hoops' whole theory here is probably correct because I don't think that they do like names of like places that are directly referencing like real life. They would definitely use a Pokemon name here.
Also, like lava area, poison swamp area, like that's what you describe something as when you're like planning. But that's not
right.
a proper.
And that's what these are too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like they're naming it Ant Hill because they're like, we made a new ant Pokemon and this is where it's going to be. So here's our placeholder name.
Yeah.
And just plug it in. So,
No, 100%.
and that would be, I think a new ant, like, I'd rather have a new ant Pokemon than like a Durant something or other.
And the only thing bigger than this map is how much we appreciate all the support that we get on this podcast week in and week out, month to month. You guys really show up to make all of you who are supporting really make this show possible. So thank you so much. And I want to give a shout out to our producers of this podcast. We've got at Mythical Tier, Cornet Highlander, NMT Arts, SEH Art Gold, Nathan Shorter, Louis Gervais, Jen Renegade, Chief Keith, The Real Pokey God, Steven 3338, the Pokey Kiddo 1, as well as Zune or Zon, Father Dagda, Duke Norton, Ball Guy, Tyler Lowe 15, and Ryan. Thank you guys so much. All of those names are at the Mythical Tier, and we also have to give a big shout out to our Game Freak Inc. supporters on YouTube as well as on Patreon, Bramtastic and Young Smokey a second time because this man just can't get enough. He's really got he's flexing on all of us, and he really he's appreciated. You're all appreciated. We love you guys so much. If you guys want to get in on the action and have your name read on the show as a producer, you can head over to the link in the description, either on Patreon or YouTube, whatever your preference is. Mythical Tier or higher gets you one of these producer credits, and you can actually pay annually. That's a feature on Patreon to actually get a pretty big discount, a 20% discount on any of the memberships that you sign up for. If you want to maybe just get in on the ground level as a legendary tier member, I mean, these are our ground troops. These are our unknowns. This is the bulk of the community. $5 a month gets you 4 bonus monthly podcasts. That's a whole podcast every single week. We usually post those on Mondays. And it also gets you access to the Discord. That's where all of the stuff is happening. When the conversation's over on the podcast, there's conversations in the Discord. There's over 500 people in there. And we're honestly we're building up the Discord. We have started to implement a lot of. This isn't the time for that. Anyways, we're doing a lot of new stuff. Q&As, where we're having people decide on what kind of shows you guys want to see on the podcast going forward. We're picking up the Battle League again. We're doing movie nights again. There's a lot of really good stuff in the Discord if you're unaware. But we appreciate all of you guys. Any support that you guys do at any tier is appreciated. Thank you so much. And now back to the video.
Although, I would take that. I'm not going to complain. But
Yeah.
I feel like in a tropical place like Indonesia, you could do like a fire ant or just like something crazy. Because I feel like there's got to be some crazy, weird ants there.
I wonder if they have like those spraying. I don't know if that's an ant or a beetle, but they like spray poison or something from the abdomen. I don't know. There's probably some crazy ants there. But the only thing with that, I feel like it's probably Durant instead of a new ant, because Durant is so just off on its own. You know what I mean? Like it
Sure.
kind of needs some. It's just like a random ant Pokemon, and if you're thinking about making a new ant, you're like, why wouldn't we just use the one that needs something? Obviously, this is my own
Yes.
thought process.
No, I think that makes sense.
I think Durant is a Pokemon that could get something, but the tricky part is it's tied with Heatmore. So if you give Durant something, then you're probably gonna. I would assume they would probably want to do something with Heatmore too.
But here's the thing:
you
would
think
push
that,
back and say they've done that many times, where it's like
they're the worst.
Yeah, like something is a. Honestly, I actually kind of appreciate this. Like, I like how like Pokemon are introduced to us as a pairing in one region, but then once we go to a new region, that pairing doesn't always exist. But they're not just like ripping stuff apart, but they're also like what's a good example? Like I feel like in in Generation 8, they were like, oh, guess what? Duraludon is now a counterpart to Tyranitar. You know,
Yeah.
like they've done that in the past. Or like when we got Tinkaton, they were like, guess what? It beefs with Corviknight. Like they have gone like with new games, they will take old Pokemon and make them pairings with new Pokemon. So they've kind of gone both ways. There is a fluidity there.
Yes, but also I think that this is an even more specific one than those, because those are like just like Pokedex lore things, but this is like these two are very connected. Like there's certain other Pokemon that are similar to that, like Zangoose and Survivor.
Yeah,
like those are like hard counterparts. You know, instead with Duraludon and Tyranitar, they're not really. They're like just lore counterparts. But I will say, it's funny because us as fans were like, this makes sense. This is what it should be, and the fans kind of do it better in a way. But then you have ZA situation where it's like they gave Dragalge a Mega and didn't give Clawitzer a Mega, and you're like, you should get one too, bro. They are like, it's so bad that they did that. And there's plenty of other examples where they really don't care about counterparts outside of like the counterpart when it was introduced. Like that was kind of it. Like I could see them giving Survivor a form in this game, and then Zangoose just stays Zangoose. It's like, I hate you, Game Freak, for this, but it's literally what they do.
There is definitely a world where I can see them doing that. But one thing I think would be really cool for them to do with these guys is if they give Durant a regional form and it becomes like fire type because it's a fire ant maybe.
Right.
And its whole concept is it adapted in this region to better resist Heatmore. But then Heatmore comes in, and instead of a fire type, it's now a water type, and now it's adapted to continue to be able to hunt Durant. Because it's just like it's not going to give up the hunt. Basically,
no, I love that so much.
Fun.
I was even going to say like
so fun.
They could also just even get rid of Heatmore. Like what happens if Durant, like in the Generation 10 region, adapted without Heatmore's,
that's kind of what they do.
Pressure.
Usually. Like he wouldn't be here.
Heatmore wouldn't
He's
be
not even
in Gen 10. So Durant could evolve or mutate. It could become a regional form, whatever. Maybe it loses the Steel type and gains, I don't know, a Fighting type. What if it gains a Psychic type? It could become a whole new Pokemon without the pressure of Heatmore. Yeah.
Also, we could be looking at it all wrong, and Anthill Fieldlands could be suggesting a Heatmore form instead of a Durant form. Like it's an anteater, like he's there, and there's no Durants. There's like a new ant Pokemon, and Heatmore is the one that gets a form because it's hunting new ants, something like that.
Don't anteaters come from that part of the world? I could be mistaken, but
I think Africa, if I remember correctly. But
let me do some podcast producing.
But like,
I'm pretty sure it's Africa because I would have seen like some kind of anteater. I think they have the pangolins there. That'd be really cool. And I mean, that is like I know Sandshrew is kind of, or Sandslash is a pangolin, but making a Heatmore pangolin variant would be pretty cool.
It looks like
that's kind of an anteater.
I was seeing South America.
Oh, it might be South America.
Yeah, it's looking like
yeah.
South America.
Okay.
Dude, that's kind of sick.
Interesting.
We should have got. Well, okay, yeah, maybe that's why it's in Unova.
There's different kinds though, right? Like they're not just like a. It's the main anteater that we think of is the giant one, but there's all kinds of them. That's why I meant like the pangolin is technically an anteater too.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's kind of sick. Yeah, it's still South America.
yeah,
That's cool though. Damn, dude, that is.
for sure.
I want to see a new Durant form. All right, let's get.
I
to
feel
this
like
last-
I feel like it could still fit though because it's very tropical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, it
absolutely.
doesn't have to be from the place.
Yeah, let's
That's
let's give
another
everyone
thing.
a reminder. Yeah, Komala, the koala Pokemon is in Hawaii, Alola. Like
Yeah.
it makes they can do whatever they want, 100%.
There's so many
Yeah.
from Alola that actually are from like Indonesia. So
All right, let's go over this. We first have the uninhabited island, and again, just as a reminder, all of these locations, as far as I understand, are like translations from lines of code in the Terra League. So like they are, they're still, the phrasing or like the exact words that I'm going to read might be a little bit off because of the translation, but are more or less at one point real. Whether or not they make it into the main game, when in 2027, who knows? First off, we got the uninhabited island, volcanic one of the locations is going to be volcanic cavern, and then we also have uninhabited island field. But that's kind of cool to think like volcanic cavern right off the bat, Because another thing I think maybe we haven't even talked about once, and yeah, honestly, we need to do another podcast where we just talk about the Pokemon that could be in Gen 10.
Right.
But we're talking about the Winds and Waves legendaries, but like there's also going to be other legendary Pokemon, And I think it makes a lot of sense for if we got Winds and Waves, those are very soft things. Where's the fire god? Where's the earthquake god? Where's the the thunder god? I guess that maybe that's wind, but
I think he's gonna be the third legendary,
yeah,
like
that
the
makes
DLC
sense.
legendary or something.
And they would be smack dab, right in the middle. Yeah,
that
right.
would be cool. That would be cool.
That
Yeah.
makes
Because
sense.
it would be like a cool switch up of because we've gotten like land, sea, and sky before with Hoenn. But
Yeah.
it would be cool because now instead of the sky legendary being the third one, it would be the land one. I think
Yeah.
that would be a fun twist.
The twist.
Also, yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm imagining like a fire breathing dragon, as like
Yeah.
the third legend, like that thing in Ocarina of Time in the Fire Temple.
Yeah, Volvac.
Yeah.
It's basically fire.
Oh, yeah.
Rayquaza.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Everything's a dragon.
That's the uninhabited island. That uninhabited island, I think people are saying it would be right around here if you're watching the video, just like right next to the center island.
Yeah. Just to be clear, a lot of where people place these things are just based on
Yeah.
deduction.
Yeah.
They're not actually in the Terra Leak. They're not like this one is Island 11.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't say which island is which. It just makes the most sense for them.
Like it could be this
But
one.
It could be wrong.
It could be.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of islands here that like are kind of low key not accounted for. So
Yeah, well this map, that version, whichever one you're looking at here, isn't as detailed as the that other image as well. They have like I'm pretty sure they have them listed everywhere, but
no.
they might even have different locations for each.
The other,
Not
yeah,
each,
the
but
other.
a lot of them.
Oh no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it does have a couple extra things on it, like, but it's only.
Overall, it's
I
kinda
don't
the
think it's
same.
easier to look at for the viewers, to be quite honest. I think it's pretty
Yeah.
confusing to look at. It has some updated versions of
Right, because
locations, but
there's
they're like
another map.
They're in like in grayscale, and I think it
Mhm.
is focusing on like I guess like the, what would you call it? Like the elevation of the locations.
Maybe, but there's also another map that isn't just the elevations. It just has new locations on it. So that is like another
Okay.
point to this whole thing is that this is, like we said at the beginning, this is not the final map. Like things can be added, things can be taken away.
Yeah.
So it's like these are other islands that they're proposing
Yeah.
that could be
Right.
these specific locations.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Let's see. So Island 1, again, it's people are saying it's gonna be the starting island, but we don't know that. Key locations: hotel area that'll contain a hotel entrance, the player's room. So this is like we're doing Zach and Cody. That's what this game's all about. Basically, we're living out of the hotel. There's going to be an observation deck. Northern. Oh, this is the first one that is actually kind of interesting. Northern Wasteland. That's kind of cool. And then there's another lava area, which makes sense if there's a volcano. This is cool. This is kind of cool.
Yes.
Majin Research Lab Fire, and something we kind of have dodged this whole episode somehow, but it probably would have been in the intro. Gyms are coming back in Scarlet and Violet. I'm sorry, in Winds and Waves, as far as we know. And so this would be, as far as I understand, the first gym, right?
No. So the Majin Research Lab is not that.
So why does it have the fire? Why does it have fire next to it?
Well, that's the whole question, because if you look a couple rows down, it says
I see
a
it.
grass gym.
Sure,
And
okay.
on the other islands, it looks like there's other research labs for the other types. So
Oh
this
yes, dude.
mechanic
Okay, I forgot about this.
is going to have something to do with types once again, but it's interesting that there's like multiple research labs that are all focusing on different types.
The way I see it is Majin is the code name for the mechanic, the new gimmick of this game.
Yeah.
And it's apparently has to do with weather in some shape or form. And a research lab is probably them researching this specific weather type.
Yeah.
And each one of them is probably going to feature either a boss or like a kind of like a gym leader or like a boss Pokemon. That's what I would imagine.
Yeah.
That you would have to face, and the typing is the type of the weather or the type of the boss. They're probably exactly the same.
Yeah. Dude, I forgot about. I just found all of the
parallel.
maps that I should have been bringing these up. I forgot. This is like a different view of the map. I totally forgot about this.
Now that you mention it, I bet you it will be. Those will be basically like the Titan Pokemon, and they'll be tied to whatever the mechanic is, and so like the Fire Lab will be the fire. Well, it'll just be a Fire type Pokemon, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that will actually necessarily have anything to do with what the mechanic is itself, because it's just like I think we know from like earlier leaks that they're gonna do what Scarlet and Violet did again, where like they basically make a boss out of every type. So there's 18 bosses, and they just are split up amongst like 3 different like sections. So I think that won't necessarily have to do with whatever the mechanic is. It's just like they are those types of Pokemon is basically what it amounts to.
Yeah.
And then they use
The only thing is, so Dusty's on the page right now. So there's actually like 3 different types of bosses, let's call them. So like one is a gym, one is the Majin, which is like specifically the gimmick like bosses, and then there's like actual Titan ones that are like the ones in Scarlet and Violet. But each way what you said is true. They're covering all the types.
Yeah. Dude, I totally forgot about this. Yeah.
Interesting. Also, I want to say, like, I know it says gym, but like we talked about at the beginning, like who knows? It could be like Alola, and they're
a trial captain. It could be
trial captain.
Yeah, it could be something totally new.
Yeah, just because it says gym is just that could be the planning type like name.
Yeah,
and they could change it to something else. But for the sake of everything, it's probably a gym.
Yeah,
it's probably gyms.
If this excuse me, if this list pans out and it ends up being what we get, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with another dark type gym, because we only got the one in Sword and Shield, and it was dark because it was tied to Team Yell, because like it was Peters obviously. So it's like, what did they do again? Like, do they do, because there was the whole idea that there wasn't a dark gym for the longest time, because dark type is the evil type, and like dark type Pokemon are like underhanded, and then the league is like they don't want to promote that, basically was kind of the theory. So I'm interested to see if they're gonna just like kind of keep that up and provide another reason as to why there's another dark gym, or if they'll just like let it go and not care about it, So
no, that makes sense.
I was looking at this. Sorry, the first Titan is actually the bug type, and it's on Anthill Field land. So most likely it's a
Titan.
I mean, it could be a new evolution, but it's a bug type. So it probably isn't.
That's fun,
what's
dude.
his face?
That's super fun.
Heatmore.
Yeah.
It's probably not Heatmore.
And honestly, yeah, I mean, and all these Titans, all the Titans in, I guess I want to say,
Well,
all the
other thing
Titans in the totems in like Gen 7 and Gen 9, they were all brand new Pokemon. So I guess I'm imagining that all of
Yeah.
these Titans are brand new.
That's
are gonna be
what
Right,
brand
I
new
agree,
Pokemon,
but
yeah.
I just think that like an evolution counts as a brand new Pokemon
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. No, I think so.
It could,
You know,
it could
yeah.
be. It could also be a form because we saw regional variants for like totem Pokemon, for instance.
Yeah, it was like a little
Like,
Eradicate is
yeah.
one that I'm thinking
So
of.
like it could be something like that, but like it will definitely be some kind of new Pokemon. So that suggests either a totally new Pokemon or an evolution of Durant or a form of Durant or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like we literally, you can bet some money on it being a Durant evolution.
Bro,
Like-
that's fun.
Like
Well, he's
we
the
already have like one Pokemon confirmed. I mean, there's other
Yeah.
ones as well.
Are there any? There's no other ant Pokemon, right?
Yeah, Durant is like the only one. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, it could be another type of bug even, but it's still like, yeah. it's
I
not
guess
an ant.
you know. I guess I'm pretty sure ants are closely related to like wasps.
Mhm.
So maybe
A little
you
bit.
could say it's like Beedrill. Like Beedrill is an ant. I don't know. All right, this is cool. I kind of wish we looked at this earlier. I totally forgot about the Titans and everything. But
I mean, the Majin stuff is the most interesting because I think like when you look at it, you're like, oh, it's like a fire weather thing or an
Yeah.
ice weather thing.
Yeah.
You know, like they're studying
it's a specialty.
something.
I almost imagine these are similar to. It's like these. I guess you would be learning or unlocking a power to go alongside the gimmick, or like you're unlocking access to the gimmick or whatever. But it's also kind of like, I don't know, this whole Majin system at a laboratory. It's kind of like giving me like, I guess maybe I'm wondering if it's a placeholder for like an HM. Oh, the dogs are barking.
Someone's home.
It's reminding me of like the HM system, right?
Yeah,
I'm like
maybe,
wondering
yeah.
if that's something that you could like learn for traversal, perhaps. I don't know.
The psychic type is the weird one because like I could see like rock being like some kind of rock slide.
Yeah.
You know, ground could be like a what's the word, like a sinkhole. Ice is clearly like it could be any kind of blizzard. The fire and psychic are interesting. I mean, fire could be volcanoes, but psychic's like, I don't know what kind of weather.
I would love if they would introduce new kinds of weather in this game, but I don't know if they're gonna go crazy and introduce like 5 new weather forms. You know, so
Right.
the other thing that is like, I want to see this now. If they're gonna have research labs for this mechanic that revolves around weather, we have to get a new cast form for him. Because like it was built in a weather lab, so if we're gonna have weather labs, like give us a new cast form for him.
Yeah.
So I hope that's the case. The
Me
other
too,
thing I was
man.
gonna mention
100%.
though, going back to the Titan Pokemon, is there was in the beta of Gen 5. It wasn't even like a leak. It was like an interview that Sugimori gave. He talked about how they wanted to make an ant Pokemon that was like the smallest Pokemon, and then they just didn't do it. They did Durant instead.
Yes.
So another possibility, especially because it's kind of ironic because it's the Titan Pokemon where they get big. It would be interesting if maybe they could potentially like revive that idea, and maybe this new ant Pokemon, its thing is that it's really small, and that's why it's like on the first island. It's one of the first areas because it's this little bug Pokemon.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'm totally down for a new one as well. I'd really love that too.
Dude, that is
a
super
brand new
fun.
thing.
Yeah, the idea of like a small Pokemon being massive, that is
Right.
actually like a ton of fun. Yeah, man, bro, this game is gonna be cool. The map just looks so big. All right, so we got the Majin Research Lab, fire type. We got the Woobat Tunnel. We got the northeastern terraced rice fields. That immediately makes me think of Kitakami. A bunch of Pokemon like Wooper, Yanma. Maybe we finally get the Yanmega evolution. There's the grass gym, which we talked about, which is kind of cool. I guess that's fitting for like the first gym, just like a grass type.
Yeah.
And it could also be a thing. I guess I'm also assuming we're going to be able to get like a lot of water Pokemon on that first island. I don't know. Grass would be a threat to like a lot of water types that you could get early in the game. You got the southeastern wetlands, mangrove forest, buried ruins. The buried ruins, that's kind of cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot that could be said about that. There's, temples and stuff in
dude,
Indonesia, and so could be.
That is so cool.
Fun.
Yeah, the buried ruins. That is true. It's like I feel like there was a lot of that in Galar, but I feel like it wasn't really like a lot of that stuff just seemed a little random.
I mean, yeah, but we don't know the scale or scope to any of these locations as well. So like it could be like something really small, or it could be something really
But in
big,
all the 3DS games, it's like there were tons of ruins, abandoned locations that you could like fully traverse. But like it was on a smaller screen. But like seeing this in 3D is kind of exciting. Jagged Rocks area. It's funny. These are just literal, just like descriptions of like idea plus area. We have the Mount Symbol area. Mount Symbol area. Mount Symbol.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Symbol.
It's also a translation, and I don't know, like,
Sure. It could have a different word.
I don't know how they translated it,
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, is it a symbol?
Yeah.
It sounds like it'll be, it almost sounds like it'll be kind of like a not like a battle area, but something like a battle tower, or like one of those types of places that you just find on a route, and it's like semi-important,
Yeah, Mount Chimney. Yeah, I guess it would just maybe if we could think of a word for symbol that isn't symbol. I don't know, like what is a symbol? Symbol means it's an artifact. A symbol is like it's something of pride. It's like something that represents.
Yeah, and there's
who the
there's
people
a lot
are. Yeah,
with Indonesian culture and the mountains. Like there's a lot. Man, I wish I remembered it, because I had freshened up on all this stuff when Winds and Waves first came out, but now we're like 2 months removed. And I'm trying to think of this one specific piece of lore with their country, but essentially there is a mountain or a volcano, which there's so many of the same things going on, but they like worshipped it at one point, or like kind of like a Mount Olympus situation. Yeah. So there could be a very important, prominent mountain in this game. I don't know if it would be this one, but I mean, then there's Krakatoa and all kinds of other volcanoes that are insane.
And we know it's Krakatoa is going to be in this game. It might be this. It might be this.
I think it's the one in the middle. Yeah, yeah, so, the one in the middle.
Yeah.
No, I can see that. That makes sense. All right, let's see. More assets found in this first island. Pokemon Center, Pokemon Mart. Oh, they're separate again. Pokemart, dude. The Pokemart is back. That's sick. We got the bridges, gazebos, and plazas. Ropeway, cable transport. That's kind of fun. That's actually kind of fun to think that we could get around.
For sure.
Outside of, there was a little bit of that in Scarlet and Violet. Outside of HMs in our Pokemon, like earlier in the game. That's kind of fun. Tree houses and tents, waterfront, court lake areas, relic, and tower-like structures. Those could, I guess I'm imagining, like, are these just a bunch of like assets listed out? And so like they're named just because they're literally assets.
That's pretty much
okay. Yeah.
I mean, the tree houses are a big deal too. They're like part of the story. The rival might be in a tree house. This is like tree houses is a fun thing.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's some of the pictures. I wasn't showing it earlier. This is like maybe the Pokemon Center, the Pokemart, and they're like, they definitely have a different vibe to them. A lot of palm trees. There's like these colorful flowers. There's a Clodsdale, and maybe even like a Execute in the distance.
I love that you said Clodsdale.
Oh, what did I just? Clodsdale. Isn't it Clodsdale or no?
It's like Clodsire, but also
Clydesdale.
A Clydesdale, but also
that actually wouldn't have been a bad name for it. Clodsdale.
I was thinking about that the other day, like Clodsire. I always think, like, I never think of Clodsire's name because to me, I think of Mudsdale.
Right.
Really?
That's
crazy.
I was driving in my car 2 days ago thinking about that. And I was thinking about how there's those like people make those like trends or videos. Like I think Hoops actually made one of these recently where it's like making new Pokemon based on other Pokemon's names or something.
Right,
Yeah. Clodsdale just seems that is nothing like Quagsire or Whooper. Like, what is that name? So
When you said it, I just pictured a Mudsdale with like a big
derpy
Clodsire face.
Yeah, yeah. That's good.
That's what happened.
That's good.
Funny.
There's more palm trees, a lot of grasslands. Man, this does look pretty spacious. Lot of grasslands.
The scope is insane.
Soul, can you tell us a little more about the treehouse rival dynamic?
Not too much, other than apparently he lives in a treehouse. Like he lives out in the crazy jungle. So
that's kind of funny, but it kind of piqued my interest because, like, as the player, we're going to be in a hotel, and the hotel is like this big fancy place. So I feel like that's setting up kind of like a urban development versus like natural environment type of like rivalry. And so the rival might be like, he might actually be kind of like contentious if he views us as like a threat.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. This game's theming and what's the other word? I forget, but it's survival is one of the main things. So you're like surviving the jungle kind of thing. So you might be someone that has never like experienced the wilderness.
Yeah.
And then, you come in and this is this crazy jungle and this kid that lives in the jungle and all this stuff.
So is our rival gonna be like Tarzan, basically?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what you picture, right? But we don't know like the extent of all of that. It's
like Trainer N. He's like just a nature kid.
Yeah, he could be like a city person that lives. He's like, I don't like this, and I just want to live in the jungle in a treehouse or something.
I feel like he or she could be like
it could be
a more like not villainous, but like a more kind of like mean version of How, because like in addition,
they can't do How again.
Well, they can't do they won't do How again. But like what I'm thinking is like on top of the of the jungle dynamic versus like the urban dynamic, there's also the native versus like foreigner dynamic going on. So I feel like there could be a lot of that going on, and so to me, if this holds up, it kind of sounds like this rival could be like this person who basically hates you and wants you to leave.
Sure.
Which would be really cool.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, there's so much history that we could dive into with just like, people trying to take over Indonesia and like now like it's known for like tourism, like going to like Bali and stuff like that. And the natives, the people that live there are like, this is our country, and you guys are coming in. It's a world situation. It happens in a lot of places, but I
think that's an interesting route to take, to almost position, like if the game positions us as the protagonist as kind of the antagonist, as like almost like as like the outsider.
But understanding it, I think, would be the end goal, right? You'd be
but like in the beginning of the game, like that is an interesting way to like position everything.
And that would be interesting because it would kind of be
because we're always like the goody two shoe, like the chosen one.
Right, right. Yeah. That would be fun, and it's kind of like like the opposite to what Alola is, because Alola has always kind of been compared to this for the island dynamic, but it would be the opposite because in that game you are coming from a different place because you move there from Kanto, but you literally are welcomed by Professor Kukui before you even get there. So they're just like aloha, like come to the Alola region. But here it could be flipped and they're like, go
standoffish.
Away.
Yeah. I'd like that. It's not confirmed anywhere, but that is a fun theory for sure.
Yeah,
it could be.
All right, let's keep moving. We got a lot more to cover. I'm gonna start reading these off. I feel like we've gone in depth on a lot of things, but I just want to make sure we cover everything. So Island 2, again, we don't really know exactly where this would be. People are suggesting online that it would be this
Sulawesi.
Yeah, what would this be? Like the like a northwestern island. Like kind of the closest island to the northwest. It's got these like 3 different points, and it's called the Poison Swamp. And so it has, or I guess one of the notable areas is the Poison Swamp area. There's a poison gym, and then it also has a lava area. This is kind of cool. I feel like I like the idea of like poison and fire being kind of mixed as like smog.
That just
it is
screams. That screams.
Salandit.
Salandit.
Yeah.
100%. Male evolution.
100%, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I need it.
Yes.
So that I think that's pretty cool.
Lots of lizards in this region.
Yeah, and this island's also like it also, I guess, if the first island's a giant circle, this one is a lot different, and I think it'll just feel a lot more special. And also, like now that you've been introduced to the water or to like the ocean, like you obviously need to surf to get to the first island. I think it also is kind of cool that like everywhere you are on the first island is going to feel like you're on the coast because it's like it has all these like narrow strips to it. Which I think is going to make it inherently feel different than Island 1, so that makes sense. That tracks. Island 3, the key areas are grasslands and then anthill fieldlands, as we've talked about.
Fun.
So that's kind of cool. I guess that's also what you could kind of assume, that every island is going to have something on it that is either, a gym or a Titan or...
I mean, not everyone will have a gym or a Titan. There's some that won't, but also I wanted to say this from the beginning, they can add areas that are not on this list. Like areas might be taken away, but also there's some islands that seem like a bit bare, like there's nothing on them.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they will add areas on those islands from this moment in development to the end of development.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm just saying, like, we'll have to go through, and you are right. Like it can all change, but we did see that like the what is it, the bug type Titan would be on Island 3. So
right.
Yeah, we're still cruising. Island 4 is just called where would Island 3 be? Island 3 would be, they're saying it's this little hand, this little like this hand looking island. It's kind of weird. It seems like a kind of a short, brief island hop, right? You go to Island 2, then Island 3, and then it says Island 11. See, this is where it gets kind of weird. Like, what's the order? I
want to know what the logic of this is for the people that put this together.
That put it together. I know. That's the thing. It's like that's what I was saying. Like, these are not creations, but fan guesses.
Yeah,
that's the word I'm looking for. Like, I don't know. There are reasons. I just don't know them because I didn't make the thing.
I would assume it has something to do with the locations that are probably tied to each island, and then they're just looking at this and being like, "Oh, this is a lava area." That's probably what it is.
Most of them, yes, the ones that line up. Yeah, and then other ones they probably just try to fill in the gaps.
Right.
We got, let's see, and this is what it's going to look like, just like some plains. This would be so funny though to just see like a bunch of, like a whole ant colony. Like it makes sense if it's a plain because you could see them. You could see all the different Durant at a distance, and then you just see like one giant one leading the pack,
like a giant ant castle.
Yeah,
that's
true. There actually could be, if this is that's actually kind of interesting. Oh, you know what? So if Island 3, again, if what we're speculating is right, and that the Island 3 has a place called Ant Hill Fieldlands. That's confirmed. What's kind of interesting about this island is it looks like you could interpret it as what like an underground ant colony looks like, where it's like has all these, all these different like trails, like just I guess like what's the word I'm looking for? Just like
trails works.
Yeah, but the trails are
tunnels.
Like the tunnels are like peeling off from each other. Branches. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So like,
I will say that these islands are very similar to the real life shapes.
Okay, sure.
That's also where this is coming from.
Yeah, but like if Game Freak's making a game based on these locations and these islands, like I think part of the creative process is like, okay, well, let's take inspiration from this. This kind of looks like this. Maybe we put this Pokemon here. Oh, then that's a whole story, and then they make it something more, fantastical. But that is good to know, though. It's still based on something. Island 4 is just called Archipelago, and Island 4 they put it. Let's see. I guess it's not here on this map, so we're gonna go to this map, and it's it's I guess the island in between. What is it?
I don't think they know exactly because that doesn't look like an archipelago. Archipelago to me would be like a bunch of little islands.
Yeah, but unless there's just like this is the little main land, but then there's a bunch of like smaller islands around it that we just can't see on the map.
If anything, I would say the archipelago is like to to the right of the first island.
Yeah, like this one.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense.
No, I agree. That makes sense. Then we have Island 5, snowy mountains and ice fields. This location's looking pretty cool. I like that it's mountainous and they're ice caverns, and it's not just like a snowy flat land. I feel like we've seen just a snowy tundra so many times. It's kind of cool to see part of the land masses, part of the physical land masses not only be rock, but also be ice, and then you have snow on top. Like, it just feels way more distinct for a Pokemon game, which is nice to see. So we got the snowy mountain area, there's a summit area, icicle snowfield, ice cave, drifting ice area. That's kind of fun. Drifting ice area. So there's going to be like gaps with water in between.
Yikes.
Yeah. There's a wasteland area, marsh area, dam power plant.
So there's a dam somewhere.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That is kind of interesting. And then it says there is a Majin research lab studying ice, which also kind of makes sense. It's like a research base. Yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of cool. Again, really unique location.
This is one of the bigger ones as well as island, that whole thing. So
this is that big island up in the top, northeast. That's cool, man. That really is a big location. Yeah.
In the real world, it's very biologically diverse as well. So we should get some interesting stuff from it.
Right.
Island 6 is the rocky desert coast. Where's that going to be? They're saying Island 6 is...
I'm looking.
Not seeing it on this one.
On the other map, it said, it's right.
Yeah, those might be flipped a little bit. 4 and 6, because the archipelago... Yeah, anyways, okay. But there is Island 6, could be the sandy... It's going to have the sandy area, a rocky area, and then the flying gym. That's kind of cool. Again, that kind of makes me think, like... I mean, that's cool. If there's a flying gym, I'm just imagining, like, it's a soaring battle. Like, you have to battle up in the sky. Yeah, maybe it's like... Yeah, like, I don't know. If it's one of these islands could be, like, super tall. All right, Island 7, Rock Formations Island. You've got... Oh, this is weird. Goro Rock Island. Is anyone else thinking about Goro
Interesting.
too? And then it has a fighting gym on it. Goro Rock Island.
I think...
What are we thinking?
It's interesting because I don't know what the translation exactly is. I think that they didn't translate it. It is Goro in the Japanese.
Goro means like it refers to, I think, like the sound of like rumbling thunder or something like that. And that's why
maybe I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that there was other, like, it's like a, I'm pretty sure it's like a, what's the word? Not suffix, but it's like a thing that you add on to a word to make it like a bigger word, essentially. For a very poor way of describing it. But so like there would be like a gold duck, gold duck might be like Goro duck or something like that.
Yeah.
If that's a better explanation.
So Google says it is an onomatopoeia for thunder, but it's also a suffix that could mean around, about, or approximately when discussing the time of something. So you would say like, so I guess instead of saying around 3, you would say Goro, whatever.
And that's in Japanese?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in this case, it's probably the thunder.
The thunder sounds cool. And if it's a fighting gym, I guess I'm imagining like a fighting type gym leader using its Pokemon to beat the, to bro, I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking about? A fighting electric type Pokemon. Every time it hits something, it like thunder, it's a thunder punch. Are we talking Electabuzz evolution? A new Electabuzz? Yeah, dude, Palmot maybe?
What gym was this
This was Gym Island 7, Rock Formation Island Fighting Gym.
Because it does also say that Goro refers to the number 5, so maybe it has something. Maybe it's the 5th gym, or something.
Could be.
I don't know.
Well, that's another thing. Can we play all of these out of order? Because that would be kind of sick.
I hope so, as long as there's level scaling.
Yeah, I assume it'll be there.
Yeah, bro. I hope there's level scaling.
Yep.
All right, we got Island 8. Capital City in Jungle. Okay, I think we've all seen this one. This is the one down here
Yeah.
at the bottom, kind of where, and that's what we haven't even talked about. We didn't even talk about like the like the literal placement or like the inspiration. We didn't talk about the inspiration of this map at all. It being
We
like,
can always do that again.
I know,
Different
Southeast
time.
Asia, Indonesia.
This was a
It's
big
Indonesia.
thing to take on.
I know.
I will say.
You've got like, this is part of like Thailand, and then down here, Island 16, which we haven't gotten to, but there's a little hook right here, would technically be based on Northern Australia, which is nuts. So anyways, Island 8, you get the capital city, you get the group headquarters, Pokemon Center, headquarters. That's kind of interesting.
That intrigues me because what does that mean? Does that mean
Yeah.
does that mean like the Pokemon
evil
Center?
team.
Well, to me that sounds like this is like the place that all of the other Pokemon centers operate out
Yeah.
of. And so like that could be like a significant lore drop, because that could mean
Yeah.
like Pokemon centers were founded in this region. They started in this
Right.
region or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like, this is the bustling city, and you have all these more natural islands, and basically the Pokemon Center headquarters or the tour company headquarters, which is also on this island, basically distribute and support these smaller outlets or these smaller Pokemon centers throughout the region. That's what I'm kind of imagining.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's kind of crazy because this city is apparently Jakarta, which is right now the biggest city in the world, apparently.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then it's mixed with Kuala Lumpur and possibly Singapore. So it's like they're just making like a crazy giant city here. And I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe it's the only big city in the whole region. That's what the map shows, but I think it's just going to be the biggest city we've ever seen in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Other than, I guess, Lumio City, but in a way.
No, that's super cool. And then
And that-
it talks about like a boutique, a TM shop, hair salon, herbal medicine shop. And I guess I'm thinking like, this is going to be the bustling city. This is where you can kind of like, there's going to be tons of resources here, which is fun.
Yeah, and it honestly does make a lot of sense for it to be this like insane city, because that could actually explain why they made Legends EA in the first place, because they were like, we want to make a ginormous
Prototyping it.
city
Yeah.
in Gen 10, so let's get some practice by making a game about a giant city.
They have done that in the past.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yep.
That is honestly kind of sick. We got Island West Side, Ivy Jungle. That's sick. Jungle Cave. There's going to be Tangela in there. We've got another lava area.
More lava.
There's the Dark Gym. Oh, this is cool. And there's a Majin Research Lab. If we look at the map, capital city. Well, hold on. Island 8, capital city. Oh, okay. This will be like a little bit separate. I wonder if all of this, like even these little islands down here, are connected to Island 8.
I don't
Probably
think
not.
so.
Because they are
No, I don't
separate.
think so. Yeah. If anything, the archipelago's down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's Java, like based on Java in the real world.
Okay.
So it's a big culturally impactful island.
Okay.
So
Um.
Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah. Will-O-Wisp Caldera. What is a caldera? What is that?
So a caldera is literally that kind of body of water that we see at the end of the island.
Yeah, that's sick.
It's
Okay.
like a crater
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, right down here at the bottom.
Will-O-Wisp though suggests ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I love that
that's
so much.
Really interesting.
Like little spirits just kind of floating.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
That-
actually
Get
so
some
sick.
new
That to
ghost
me,
types.
because it's a crater, it almost kind of suggests that like maybe the story is that there was like a meteor that just like destroyed everything, and now there's a bunch of ghost Pokemon that are left over from when the crater was formed.
Yeah.
Or a volcano in this case.
Right.
Yeah, it says actually, this is from geologyin.com. Craters and calderas are both depression formed on the surface of planets, including Earth, but they differ significantly in their formation processes, etc., in relation to volcanic activity. They're both volcanic features, but they are formed in very different ways. A crater is a bowl-shaped depression at the top of a volcano, while a caldera is a much larger basin-shaped depression formed by the collapse of a volcano. And there's like a diagram right here, or there's kind of some images, And that's kind of interesting because I guess like the will-o-wisp in this regard would be like little wisps, right, of fire, right? Maybe like
or water, because they fill up with water. These calderas apparently. Look at, I guess, rain or something. Like, and even on the map, it's filled with water.
no, but what I'm saying is like a will-o-wisp, right? We understand it to be like little fiery wisps created by like ghosts. In this situation, this caldera is, or a caldera from what we're seeing right here is like basically on top of a volcano, and there's like little like what I'm thinking is like little fiery, either
Lava spirits.
yeah, lava spirits, but either like fire is actually lava's erupting, or it's just like little spurts of like exhaust from the volcano, which would be kind of cool.
Best thing
I
is
love
it
this.
suggests new ghost types.
Yes, dude.
In this area
Fire
specifically.
ghost types, dude.
Yes.
Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it, man. That's really, really cool. And I think they could also do something cool with it in regard to like, like the main map has, like, we know about this volcano, and there seems to be a lot of like lava locations, but like there's the main volcano that seems to be that could be some sort of threat. I kind of like the idea of like this other caldera being like part of the story, or someone's explaining it like, almost like the history of the region. Like this used to be a volcano, but it, time passes,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it'll end up being. It used to be a volcano. All these people lived here. They're all dead now. They're ghost Pokemon.
Oh, sure. Okay, that's way more.
Literally.
Yeah, that's way more literal.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of it like that.
Yeah,
That's true. That's cool. Well, no, that's very sad actually.
it is. But it's the Pokemon world.
But
The Pokemon world, everyone
Yeah.
gets reborn as ghost Pokemon.
yeah. We got Island 9, jungle, and a normal type gym. Kind of weird that there's. I guess
Yeah, very
jungle.
odd.
It just means like a forest.
Yeah, but normal in a such a diverse location is like
Yeah.
right.
But we've seen jungle elsewhere, I believe.
Oh yeah, there's other jungles too. Yeah.
Well, maybe not actually. Yeah, there's the Ivy jungle and the jungle cave. So yeah. And then Island 9, where's that? Where are they saying that is going to be? Okay, just like this long island right here. That kind of makes sense. Just like a
The other
kind of a
the other
simple
reason-
island.
I know that we've said that these are kind of like guesses on like which island is which, but another reasoning as to why these islands could be in this order could have, and people wouldn't know this at this point, but it could be like story or plot related somehow, because
Yeah.
if the game is open world, you're gonna kind of be hopping all over anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
No,
That's a
that's
good
true.
point. Oh, dude, is this going to be the caldera with these little dust skull?
Yeah, it could be near there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking at these pictures now. Let's see. We also have Island 10, swamp area, swamp. Pretty straightforward. That's
Swamp area.
This
swamp.
one
lots
right
of
here with the-
swamps,
with the
lots of
tadpole, yeah.
jungles.
yeah, that makes
Lots
sense.
of mangroves.
That's kind of cool. Like, so that's cool. They're there's so much water in this game. It's kind of nice to see that there's going to be like different types of water traversal,
Just so diverse already.
Yeah.
Than most Pokemon games.
which is fun. I mean, like if we're going to wait 5 years for this game, to think that we have all
Absolutely.
these different biomes and locations and it feels like a massive world, that's great to see. Island 11, Pokemon League in the Blizzard area. That's
Yeah.
cool.
This one's probably one of the more interesting ones to me because this is Malaysia, Thailand,
Yep.
a second snowy area,
Yeah.
and Singapore is down at the bottom, which is a huge city, but it's not on the map technically.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that they might turn Singapore into the Pokemon League,
Yeah.
which would be really cool in my opinion. I love that.
Wait, isn't
whole idea.
Singapore? No, I'm thinking of the Philippines. The Philippines are like a whole over there.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
up
you're
above.
right. That's kind of sick actually to think that the league would be on the edge of, dude. Actually, holy cow, I love this.
It would be at the tip if you want.
No.
like,
This is what we
geographically
saw
accurate.
in Generation 1, dude. You play through the Kanto League, and then you find out in Gen 2 that the Kanto League is shared with a neighboring region, Johto.
Oh,
And so
I
in
like
this
that.
game,
yeah.
you finish the Gen, the Winds and Waves League, and then the league, the Elite Four or whatever, it's on the border of, what are we saying? This is going to be like Thailand?
It would be Malaysia.
Malaysia's right over the no
Malaysia
Island
and
11 is
Indonesia.
Malaysia.
Yeah.
But then what
Thailand's
Thailand's
above it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's connected.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
So that could be a new region. That's super fun.
Yeah.
That's
I always thought like maybe where the mountains start even be cool.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, that's honestly really, really cool. Yeah. You're right. It could just
What
be
if,
like right here.
what if they do because we've also had a snowy mountain with Mount Silver on the border of Kanto and Shoto. So maybe
Yeah.
they do another
That's a Mount Silver.
situation.
Dude, so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, we got this. Yeah,
So many
Malaysia.
possibilities.
Yeah, Thailand's right here. And then that could be a whole nother. Bro, that's sick. Love it. Love it. Just the idea of like another region that we don't know about. Very cool. So the Rocky area, medium-sized town. There's a steel gym here. Kind of weird that there's going to be a steel gym. No, that's actually not that weird.
But like where the Pokemon League is though too, it's kind of
No.
it is a little weird.
I guess it kind of makes sense. What it's probably going to be, what I would imagine is maybe the league is north of that Rocky Winter Mountains.
Could be.
And so you're able to go to Island 11 where there's a steel gym throughout your journey. But it just so happens like right over the ridge. Once you get all the badges, then you can go over the ridge into the league, right?
That would be really cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you have like Viridian, you got Viridian Gym in Kanto literally right next to the league.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That would kind of imply that the steel gym would be the last gym though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder
It
why
does.
is the island with the Pokemon League on it? Why is it 11 out of like 16?
Yeah.
Don't know.
I really think it's just, I think it's going to be, it has to be open world. It's got to be.
Well, it is open world for sure. It's just, how much access do we have? That's the question.
Yeah. But I think,
I mean,
yeah.
there was
I
that.
think
There was that.
it's gotta have that.
There was that report that you could literally go to the final boss like right from the beginning of the game. So
yeah.
So
That was one
it
of
is
the
probably
earliest.
it's probably more open than we're like thinking. It's probably
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
even more open than Scarlet and Violet, to be honest.
How would that even work? I guess like just,
As long as there's level scaling, it works.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. As long as there's level scaling.
but how would that work where it's like,
Whatever you want.
if you can go to the final boss, right from the beginning of the game, like, does that mean you could enter the league? Would they literally be like, hey man, you don't have enough gym badges, but if you want to try, by all means, try.
You just go and you die, basically.
Yeah.
You get
Maybe. I mean,
somehow
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, could they make that work? I guess
you wait like 3 years for home integration and you bring in your strong Pokemon and then you can just
Yeah.
go straight to
no, but like
I
in
mean-
game, would they just have to explain it away? Like you know what I'm saying? Like in
Yeah,
every
I
other
don't know.
league, they literally won't let you join or
Well, that
challenge
could-
if you don't have
that
gym
could-
badges. What's the point of
that-
the league if you don't need the gyms?
That could suggest. I mean, we do know that there's a champion, or there's going to be a champion because there's a lot of like rumors about who the champion is.
Yeah.
But that could suggest though that the final boss isn't actually the champion of the game. Maybe it's like the evil team leader,
Yeah,
like in Black and
true.
White, and you just go
Oh,
fight
yeah.
them.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the league definitely is not the final boss in this case, if that holds true.
Yeah.
Because I was actually assuming that it would be like a boss Pokemon, not like the champion or anything.
it could be
the
because
the evil team makes sense too.
I mean, it could also be a Pokemon because obviously they did that. It wasn't the final boss, but they did that with Eternatus. They did that with
Yeah.
like the evil Koraidon, Miraidon.
All of the
So-
different stories converge into like a final, moment. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then we got, let's see, there's the Pokemon League Court, Blizzard area, Glacier Lake, Forest area. And then there's Island 12, Desert and Ghost area, another ghost area.
Sumatra.
Oh,
which is
yes.
huge.
So isn't
there's
this,
another-
so this is where there's like a bunch of volcanoes, right? What do they call
technically
it?
in real life, yeah.
What do they call
Is
it?
it- The whole thing is the Ring of Fire, like it's part of
Yeah.
the Ring of Fire. This area.
Oh, I guess like
of the
this right
world.
here. Yeah. Sheesh, man. So there's a desert area, desert stadium. That's kind of cool to think about. A desert stadium? What is that? There's the Majin Research Lab rock type. Very cool. Abandoned mine cave. Again, kind of suggesting underground
Yeah.
traversal. I mean,
Some
I guess that's what a
ghosts.
cave is, but
Some ghosties.
yeah, bro, that is
Dude,
cool. That's
this-
so cool.
This whole description is like telling me we could get a ghost rock type.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, that's
Like,
probably true.
That has not happened
That's
yet.
a good.
Ghost
No,
mineral
that's a good
spring.
shout. Like,
yeah, dude, I see it. How has that never happened?
it looks like it's about to.
What is Golurk?
Which is a discovery we just made. I don't
Rodriguez.
think a lot of people put that together.
Yeah.
They gotta make it real, man. That's crazy. I love this so much. Abandoned mine cave. That sounds like a lot of fun. Island 13 is the Island of Thorns. And then we've got it just says the thorn path. That's all it is. And then
I like that.
Yeah, Island 14 is the Fairy Island Cave, Fairy Gym. That's kind of cool. Fairy Island Cave. Island 15 is the Southwestern Island. Is that? Nope. Southwestern. And there's no description. So, okay. But then we got Island 16, which is the desert area. Desert Cauldron. And that's Northern Australia.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Which makes sense.
I'm so interested to see what they do with that. Cause
yeah.
Like that's not even it's not even an island. Like the rest of the continent is just off the map.
Yeah.
So
that is similar for Island 11, by the way. Like that's not an island either.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
just,
very weird.
It's gonna be interesting. They'll probably they just won't let you explore the rest of it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what the context of the location is. Like, do they refer to that as oh, there's another place over here, or do they just ignore it and say this is just another island or another area or whatever? But we clearly know it's Australia, so I'm interested to see what happens.
I still think the professor will be from there.
I hope so.
Like that.
I hope
that would be cool.
I really hope he does end up being a Darwin guy.
Yeah.
That would be the best.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. Or it could even be another professor who happens to be from there. That is really cool. I guess I'm not really expecting a lot from Island 16. It really is off the map.
Right.
I think what gets exciting maybe is DLC expanding on that Northern Australia? Is DLC expanding on Thailand? Right? Could DLC kind of open up the map? The map zooms out a little bit and we see some more locations.
Yeah, that would be a dream. And I was just about to say, I can totally imagine the trailer for the DLC. It fades in. It fades into the gameplay, and it's on this island, and it's just showing the locations we've already been to, or it's showing the map, and then it zooms out and we see this whole other area down to the south.
And that is kind of what we got with Generation 8, right? I mean, we played around in the Galar region for a year, and then they were guess what? You go, you get the Isle of Armor just to the east, and then you go north to the Crown Tundra, or I guess south to the Crown Tundra. They did the same. They literally did that same thing. So I kind of that would be fun. I think there's stuff there, There's stuff there, dude. Honestly, and then literally to go to that's actually even more nuts because going to Thailand or some of those other locations, those Asian countries north of this area, I'm just thinking about I'm thinking about how potentially they could share this league, this Elite Four, and I'm thinking it just kind of reminds me of going back to Kanto in the Johto games, it's different because it's not something we've ever seen before. But wouldn't that be kind of cool if we had DLC and there's even more gyms to collect or something? And then we get to rebattle the Elite Four again, and it's they're even more powerful.
I would love that.
Again,
Obviously,
there is precedent for it.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's a fun idea.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm sure we'll talk DLC in the future.
Yeah, I know. That's sick.
Plenty of time to talk about DLC.
All right, Island 7, the Jungle Ruins, the Plateau Island.
Fun.
Plateau Island, yeah. Where is that?
Different kind of landscape.
Okay.
Kind of flat.
And then that's all of the islands that we're seeing here, but a lot of them, I still think there's a lot of islands that are not accounted for, like these little tiny ones down here, which this random one on Island 11 is looks to be maybe lava, like maybe that's a volcano.
You want to know something crazy, actually,
Yeah.
that we were just talking about with Australia. The island all the way down in the bottom left corner
Yeah.
is actually Christmas Island. It's shaped exactly like it.
Yeah.
Like in the more advanced map images.
Yeah.
And Christmas Island is part of Australia.
Oh, really?
It is
Okay.
not. Yeah, it's part of Australia, like part of the country of Australia. So we actually have two locations of Australia on this
That's
map.
cool.
Yeah, and it is like fully modeled and all that. So
Delabird Island.
I know. I was gonna say there just has to be Delibird
yes.
there. Yeah.
no, it could be. I've thought
And
about that as
Stantler.
well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Fun,
Like
dude. That's
yeah.
super fun. And then we got the open air. So that's all of the
I've been
islands.
waiting for this one.
What is it?
I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting for this one.
Yeah. Now we have open
so-
ocean area 1, and there's a Majin
Yeah.
research lab psychic type, and with the neon abyss. But
So
a
I've
lot of
been
these
waiting
other
for this
oceans don't even
because-
have descriptors.
Right. I've been waiting for this because the neon abyss suggests that either Lantern or Luminion could get some kind of evolution or form.
Yeah.
Or it could just be a new kind of fish Pokemon that isn't like neon vibes or sea creature. But this just happened. I just realized that the Majin psychic type is actually in the ocean.
Yeah.
If that's what I'm understanding. So that's really interesting with something to do with weather. Maybe it has to do with whirlpools or some kind of psychic type
Bro,
creating.
Whirlpool is cool because of the spinning.
Yeah, creating some kind of something in the water. That it has to be something like that.
Mirages.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you
Very
know what?
interesting.
Psychic is like the light type, maybe, that we're speculating
Mm.
on, you know?
I mean, it is. I think that light psychic. You know how like sound is a subtype
Yeah.
of what was it? Normal type.
Mhm.
Same kind of thing. I actually believe that light type is a subtype of the psychic type
Yeah.
specifically. But it's neither here nor
No, I
there.
see
It's
that.
just a fun little thing.
No, I see the
If light is a subtype of a lot of other types, but I think primarily
Yeah.
psychic is.
because it could be applied to like electric or fire, but I totally hear what you're saying. And then we don't have any
I mean,
more
it's
information
attached-
about the.
it's connected to the neon abyss. So
Yeah.
like neon.
And
know?
the literal light Pokemon is a psychic type. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's true.
Mhm.
Here's an image of what the deep sea looks like. We don't have any information on this. But it is really cool, man, to think. I guess I haven't even wrapped my mind around us being able to like traverse underwater. That is really special.
Yeah, it's a whole nother.
I think we did talk
Cool.
about it a little bit, like what would be filling up these water routes. I guess I still think there's possibilities for like maybe them to, if this is the whole map, there still could be locations that are kind of like barred off. They could probably do some tricks, like maybe there's an island that's like just a bunch of rock, but you can't climb on it or something. I don't know. Like, like in older games, they'll like bar you off from being able to, just swim forever. I feel like they could pull some tricks like that. Otherwise, I think there really is just going to be like stuff happening. Like, I think these ocean routes they need to feel like they need to feel like routes. Like it needs to be a video game. It can't just literally be
Mhm.
open stretches of water and that's it. Like something needs to be there to keep it engaging. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And
No, true.
here's an idea for like an HM or like a power up that maybe you can learn. It's like, okay, maybe you can always surf, but you get a power up to be able to surf fast. It's like the running shoes for water. And now you're able to like just
Nice.
rip through that, to kind of close the distance between these different islands. But I don't know. Let's. I feel like we're at the end of this. Do you guys have any final thoughts or like what are you guys thinking about when it comes to the map?
I'm actually super encouraged all over again.
Yeah,
like
stuff here.
hype about it all. So
yeah, I'm just really excited for just like how insanely huge this seems. And
Yeah.
it's also going to stand out a lot, and it's just going to be like if they pull off the water stuff, it's going to be amazing because open world games they're basically like the standard now, but most of them are like primarily like land based. So this is going to kind of stand out as like a primarily like ocean-based open world game. So I feel like because of that, there's probably going to be a lot of focus on the water traversal.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to be, I just think it opens up so many, just so much more of the game, because like we play games like Scarlet and Violet or like Breath of the Wild. That was a big thing with Breath of the Wild, is you couldn't do anything in the water. So this game, it kind of just like brings all of those things together and then adds more because you can go under the water.
Yeah.
So like that's not even something for because I mean we've been comparing Pokemon to Breath of the Wild ever since Breath of the Wild came out, because everyone's like, do an open world game, and like those are things that Breath of the Wild didn't even do. You couldn't go on the water, you couldn't go under the water, and now this game is trying to pull all of that off. So I think how it works out remains to be seen, but there is that is like a huge that is a lot if they actually pull it off. So
no, absolutely,
it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a really good game, I think.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much going on. There's a lot. Like we were talking about at the beginning, like if they even thought about adding a like sky map, that's already going above and beyond, because what we have is like already so much.
Yeah.
So
bro, this looks I'm excited to see more, like another trailer. I don't know when that'll be, but it seems like there's a lot here. There really is. I think a lot. And I am excited. I don't know. Excitement is all I can really say, because it's like there's still so much we don't know. And for everything that is here, I think another thing that maybe we're not thinking about is like these locations are only as good as, I mean, the locations are cool, but like what's going to make them come alive and actually feel memorable in a Pokemon game is the Pokemon, right? It's going to be the trainers and the characters. You know, I mean, I don't know. I think it's stupid, but also kind of cool to think like, okay, well, what's the encounter table in this location, right? And like you know, like in the jungle, sure, it's like, oh yeah, there's going to be some new Pokemon, but what if you could find like wild Vigoroth, which I think you can actually do that in Scarlet and Violet. But I'm like, there's like old Pokemon that if like you find them in these new locations, I don't know. I think do a lot.
They've been pretty kind of like lax with the kinds of Pokemon you're able to find in the wild nowadays, especially when you get into like DLC type areas.
Yeah.
So I would love them to just allow us to find some Pokemon in the wild that maybe you can't find in the wild. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like with the fire area in the first island. Like maybe instead of like the super basic Pokemon that we always find at the start of the game, maybe let me run into a Larvesta in the first island. Like something crazy like this.
That would make sense.
That's probably too crazy, but like that's kind of the idea. Like I've always wanted to be able to like find late game Pokemon in the early game so I can actually use them. And with old Pokemon, that's the perfect way to make them feel valuable in a new region.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I also think, like, again, I think my biggest hope is that this game is, yes, open world, but also, I guess I hope it does scale a little bit. I think the idea, if I haven't said this before, my ideal Pokemon game in terms of level scaling is not, it's basically, yes, I want a challenge. So if I want to go to a more difficult area, it will be a challenge, but like I still want to be able to use those strong Pokemon to I don't know, like I think having that option to like catch those those rare Pokemon, having that choice to, and then bring it back to battle like in whatever order you want. I think you can still maintain the challenge of the game if everything kind of scales with you, but there's still challenges. I don't know. Actually, I think I'm not explaining this right. But basically, like, I want things to be challenging. If you want to challenge Gym 8 when you're like level 10, that's great. Leave the challenge. But once you get 7 badges, if I go to battle the first gym as my 8th gym, it needs to I guess, scale up with me.
Right.
I kind of fumbled
Yeah.
through that, but I think I got it right at the end.
It's okay. I've been doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't get much sleep last night.
Dude, I'm really pumped about some of these locations. The idea that I don't know. We'll leave it there. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. If you have any ideas, let us know if maybe you've seen anything online that maybe we've missed. But this, dude, I think this is gonna be fun to play. I really think so.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're hyped.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to support the podcast, there's links in the description to become a channel member or right here on YouTube or on Patreon. You will be supporting the show. You can get access to the Discord. And you also get access to a brand new podcast, an additional podcast every single week. And I want to say pushing over 100 episodes that you could literally sign up for right now and binge that we've made over the last couple of years. So go check that out and claim that if you have not already. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.